What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and I am sitting outside of the Oasis. I'm about to check in. Check-in's going to be about an hour away, so I'm just chilling for now. I just left the terminal, had a chance to speak to a lot of different people while I was up there. Some of them were in the training process, some of them were trainers, and some of them were just drivers. And one topic that kind of came up quite a bit was what my thoughts were on freight and stuff like that, or not necessarily what my thoughts were, like I know what I'm talking about, but freight came up. And one thing that I've been lucky to have is I haven't noticed the drop in freight personally. Now that doesn't mean it's not coming, that doesn't mean it's not happening, but one thing I can tell you that you should do while going through this, whether you've been hit with the slowdown or not, is you got to stay positive. Dang, I've been watching some YouTube videos and stuff like that, and here's one thing I've always mentioned, and this could go for company drivers, lease drivers, whatever. Stack your cash up. Get as much cash as you can to weather any storm. I was watching, some people that are, owner-operators talking about, what's going on in the market right now. And while I'm listening to these owner-operators talk about this stuff, I'm looking back at, like, the last 2 years when they were talking about all the money they were making and everything. And the one thing that hit my mind when I'm hearing all this desperation and everything is, what happened to all that money that you were making the last 2-3 years to where we're not even a month into this thing and people are already panicking? So listen, my suggestion is this, and you know what, whether freight drops completely off, I'm going to be fine, because I'll be able to weather the storm. And I'll be able to weather the storm because I'm disciplined enough to put the money aside when I have it. So all the people that were, talking about the money they were making these last 3 years and are panicking now, means that they were thinking about trucking and not thinking about business. So, I was thinking about this, and I talked to a few people, like I said, at the terminal, spoke to a couple people on the phone, and there is a big difference between being a truck driver and being about business. And that's the one thing that I hope that my channel can do, because I'm not, I'm never going to be the best trucker. I'm not going to be out here showing you all this different kind of trucking stuff and tips. I might throw a tip out there every now and then if I feel that it might be worthy of it. But as a rookie driver, that's really not going to be my place. But one thing I can do, hopefully, is get your mindset in a place to where you do not fall into this solely trucker mindset. And the mindset I'm talking about is, okay, things are good, let me go out and buy this, 389 Peterbilt, and let me go spend a bunch of money on upgraded exhaust and chrome and all this other stuff, and let me go waste all this money or do whatever whatever's going on with this money, idle all night long in 55-degree weather. All this kind of stuff is just burning money. I'm trying to give people that maybe aren't in trucking that long the correct mindset, or what I think is the correct mindset, right off the beginning. Now, some people are going to say, well, Lyle, you're a rookie, you what do you know about this? I don't need to know about trucking to know about money and how not to waste it and what you need to do with it when you have it. Warning shots were fired at least 3 times in the last 12 years. You had the mortgage meltdown when all that stuff went down. That should have prepared people. Then a few years ago, you had the government shutdown. Maybe that was 2 years ago. You had the government shutdown. That should have sent up some warning shots. Now there's this. So hopefully when everybody makes it through this, people start looking at this stuff a little bit more serious and start thinking a little bit further in advance than the next settlement statement. You know, I personally think I'm going to come out of this all right. I'm not even, you know what, me not making any money in this is not even an option. And you know what? One of the things that I heard when I was watching these videos where I was listening to all this doom and gloom stuff and everything was that, you know, I didn't even listen to that president's speech and all that stuff with the truck drivers and all that kind of stuff, because what was the purpose of me listening to it? You know, the premise that I got out of it was that, you know, a few of these mega carriers, I didn't hear Prime and that, were gonna kind of dictate the market. And then they were saying that, you know, they're trying to put the owner operators out of business and stuff like that. Listen, if the mega carriers wanted owner operators out of business, they'd be out of business. They would do just like Amazon does. Go in, lower the rate so much, clear everybody out, and then come back in and raise the prices. So the goal is not to get rid of owner operators. Now, if you happen to be an owner operator, a lease operator, or a company driver, and you haven't planned ahead enough, maybe not so much on the company driver side, but, you know, freight slows, miles, you know, are gonna slow as well, so that's gonna affect company drivers as well. If you're out here living paycheck to paycheck, or you're wasting money on stuff that you shouldn't have to, or not investing money or doing something like that, listen, your warning shot has been fired. Now, luckily, trucking hasn't been affected the same way that some of these other industries have. So you have a chance to actually start implementing this stuff right now. So listen, if you're, I hate to be rambling, but sometimes you got to ramble. If you're just coming into trucking, whether it's with Prime, Schneider, Swift, Sierra England, Knight, whatever, you know what, listen to what people are saying, but just take it as a word of caution. Don't take it as negativity, because listen, like I mentioned in other videos previously, people said I was stupid. You know what? I'm anything but stupid. I may not say what you want to hear, and it may not fit into your plan, but I'm far from stupid. When I, you know, months ago, I said the best time to get in business is when business is down, because if you get into business when business is down, you build your business model around that down market. So when things get better, it's all gravy. You start your business in an up market, like a lot of these people did, start in business in an up market, market goes down, now you're crushed, and you're on here, you know, you're on here complaining about the state of the market. So listen, if you're about to get into trucking, now is a great time. If you're thinking about getting into trucking and you plan on leasing, now is a good time. At least for Prime. I can't speak for the other people and everything like that. Now, people are gonna say, I could feel it in the comments right now. Well, let me hear what you have to say a month or two from now. Listen, here's the way I see it, okay? And this would be the worst case scenario. The market goes down, and let's say you run, let's say 3 months, let's say even 4 months, where you're just breaking even. I think that would be the worst case scenario. But let's say you run 4 months, you break even. All that's going to happen is that the people that aren't prepared are going to get out of the market, and then things are going to come back up again. I will make it, personally, I'm going to make it through this market. I hope you make it through this market too. All you got to do is think a little bit further ahead than that Chrome shop, you know, them Jordans or whatever it is, and start stacking that cash. Don't listen to all this negative stuff that's going on out there. That's the first thing to do, because as soon as you start getting in that negative mindset, everything's going to be negative. How you relate to everybody's going to be negative. You relate to your fleet manager a little, you know, negatively a few too many times, and that might be where you're sitting around waiting for a load. I don't know. I just prefer not to even go down that route. So anyway, I do appreciate everybody that hollered at me at the terminal. Ran into a lot of people up there, so made me feel at home, since you know, I don't really feel that natural homeliness when I'm at Springfield, but these last few times I have, because I have at least had a chance to talk to some people rather than just you know, wandering around aimlessly and stuff like that. Anyway, Today is Saturday. I got my APU fixed last night. Monday, they should start working on this body damage that I have from that car hitting me and the deer hitting me. And hopefully I'll be able to run after that. I plan on asking for home time immediately so they have a chance to work me home. And then take some time at home and then come back out here and run and gun. Typically I only like to run about a month, maybe 35 days, but with this whole coronavirus situation going around, I've decided, I kind of decided to stay out a little bit longer just to stack up just a little bit more, because you don't know what's going to happen, and I like to be as prepared as I can. So, hopefully, if you've been scared off a little bit by what's going on, and you might be thinking about getting into the industry, hopefully this will kind of level out what you've been hearing, just hearing that somebody is out there that's doing fine and will be doing fine. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by Nohippie Trucking and Transportation. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm not Kiersey, your positive voice in trucking. Check out her channel, Trucking Along with Kiersey. I'm not your positive voice in trucking, but listen, you gotta think positive in all this. Thinking negative is not gonna help. Talking negative and trying to scare everybody isn't gonna help. Anyway, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.